Good afternoon and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. Guys, today was Friday night football and was homecoming for the high school, so we all went. I was even talking to my mom about this. It's like not weird, but nobody that we know really. I mean, we do know some people that like play on Friday night for the varsity and stuff, but for the most part, there's like one kid that plays who also played volleyball with Matthew last year and played obviously football too. And then there's a couple of sophomores that play on the varsity team that my dad coached when they were in 8th grade. And so, like them and like really we don't really know anybody else that's like on the varsity, or like, you know, we might know like a kid or two, but not really, we don't really know that many of the families or anything like that. Whereas like, you know, in the years past, like we were pretty like tight-knit group of like the parents and, you know, the families and stuff like that, because for the majority of us, those kids played for like multiple years in like youth football and, you know, all the years going up through high school. So these kids that were like younger than Matthew and stuff like that, like I said, we didn't really know a whole lot of them. Most of the kids that we knew were like the seniors. They actually, the juniors and sophomores and stuff like that, when Matthew played his senior year, there weren't actually that many of them. There was a lot more seniors like Matthew's senior year than there were at, you know, the lower levels and stuff like that. So I don't know, we didn't really know that many people, but like I was telling my mom, I was like, it's so weird, like we're not really a small town, we're a smaller school, and I guess given like we're a suburb outside of Chicago, we're not like one of these really, really big cities and stuff like that, or these big towns that are around us. I'd say we're probably like, compared to some of them, like almost half the size. We're decently small. We're not like a super small like country, you know, town and stuff like that, but we are one of the smaller ones in our area. And I feel like, especially because of like the football games and stuff like that, and we are, you know, there are a lot less kids, you know, we don't have some big like, you know, I think honestly there's only like maybe about 30 or so kids that are on the varsity team. Maybe 30-40 kids. Normally by like the JV varsity and stuff like that, some of those kids from the freshmen have kind of been weaned out, and you'll get less kids really to come out more for your like JV and varsity and stuff like that. Especially too because there are so many freshmen that are playing this year that are first year and have never played football before, and they're just testing it out to see if they like it. So a lot of times like they will come out and play football, and I think too for some kids it's just like, oh, I just want to like be on the high school football team and like that'd be cool and stuff like that. It's more of a just like to test it out and to kind of, you know, be the cool kid, the cool football player and stuff like that. And you know, for like some of those kids, and I think after freshman year you kind of start to see which kids are actually sticking around. So you do get a little bit less kids in your, you know, varsity and JV and stuff like that. So, you know, we're like a smaller school, like I said, and we don't have like that many kids that play. So we just have this kind of like, it almost feels like a small town atmosphere. Like so many people know everybody, and you know, it's kind of sad though, because I did go to one of my friends' high schools and we went, their team was actually going to, not to state, maybe one conference or regionals or something like that, I'm not really sure, but I had went to one of their games, and their game was like, honestly, had maybe about as many people as are like normal games, and their stadium seemed pretty small, like, and they wouldn't get that many people out and stuff like that, but the amount of kids they had was like twice, or, you know, more, probably more than double the amount of kids that we have out there, yet we filled the stadium, like, I mean, a lot. And I've always said it too about like even going for volleyball, and you know, when Matthew played football and stuff like that, our fans travel really well. We really go to like a lot of the, you know, away games and stuff like that, and just, you know, we come in droves. But like, you know, we do have that kind of small town atmosphere, and I do actually kind of like that about our town. Like, you know, it's very community based. We are smaller, and we have like that small small town kind of like atmosphere, and like I said, like the community based and stuff like that. And like I really like that, like, you know, all of the, you know, we have a big band, we've got a lot of, you know, cheer and dance and stuff like that. And so you know, all those parents come too and stuff like that. And we just, like today, I mean, it was homecoming and stuff like that. Normally for homecoming, you get a lot of the kids, like tons of Matthew's friends were there and their parents were there and stuff like that too. And you have like a lot of the alumni comes to the homecoming games and all that kind of stuff. Like I know too, I don't know if they actually did it this year, but in the years past they'll have like I don't know if it's for a reunion or they'll have just like a special year that they're like recognizing as far as like a graduating class. And so like one year it was like the class of, I don't even know, like 60 something or 50 something, I don't even remember, like one year, and they like had them all there to like recognize them and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't know if it was necessarily for a reunion or not, or if it was just like as a recognition kind of thing, or just like a kind of a reunion, I guess, or like who organizes it and hosts it. But they did it for one of the homecoming games, which I thought was really cool. And they did that actually, I think, a lot like when I was in high school, but then I didn't notice it so much the last few years that they really did it, and they didn't do it this year, at least that I know of. Normally they'd like make an announcement and be like, oh, you know, so, you know, the graduating class of such and such is here joining us today and stuff like that, but they didn't say any of that today, so that I know of. They weren't there. Normally they have like a section blocked off for them and that kind of stuff. But yeah, guys, our stadium fills up pretty quickly. Like we normally sit like right in at the 50, which is like, you know, normally the epicenter of the fans and stuff like that. So it's normally pretty packed, but I just really like that, like, kind of small town, you know. Like I said, we're not, you know, compared to I think everybody else, and again, we're not some small rural country town and stuff like that, but we do have, I think, that small town, like almost everybody knows everybody, you know, or like at least we're like, oh, that person, you know, is so-and-so's parent, or, you know, is that so-and-so's aunt, or, you know, something like that. Like it's a lot of you know, smaller community based and stuff like that, and I do really like that, and I'm really happy that like we were there today at the game and stuff like that. It felt really sweet to just kind of be a part of that. And like I said, even though we didn't have anybody that was playing in the game, to be there is kind of like just the community is like, I feel like even more of a fun and, you know, energizing feeling as well, because, you know, like when Matthew's playing, I'm watching him on the field and stuff like that, or Jack or whatever, and I'm really trying to focus in on what they're doing, but being a spectator, and, you know, I was a spectator before, but, you know, not being there as a family member of a player was kind of a little bit more, you know, different. But I really liked being a part of that and being there to, you know, cheer on, you know, somebody else. That's just really fun and really neat, and like I said, I really enjoyed it. But they didn't win, honestly, guys. I think maybe not right before halftime, maybe, or something like that, or right at the end of the first quarter or something like that. We were actually up 14-13. We actually had blocked one of their extra points, and it was tied up, and we did make a run at the end. It looked like we could have possibly had a comeback, but I think the final was like 26-38 or something like that, or yeah, maybe. And there was 2 times that we tried to go for 2-point conversion. So if we would have gotten that, it would have been like 30-38, which seems a little bit better. So I mean, if you look at it in that way. But like I said, we did miss 2 extra points where they ended up going for the 2-point conversion on. But it was still, like I said, it was actually a really competitive game. We ended up actually, I think Matthew's team lost to them their senior year for homecoming last year. I think we've lost a lot of kids too, because we had a prior coaching staff and now we have a new coaching staff, and I really like it, and I think a lot of the people are like really like this new coaching staff that they brought in. I feel like a lot of the kids that ended up making an impact like kind of last year were a lot of the seniors and not so much the juniors, whereas like Matthew's class was like Matthew's junior class, they were the biggest one. This class too is also a lot smaller as far as like football goes and stuff like that. They don't have as many kids out, like I said, and I don't really know necessarily why that is, or if it was just like years past, but all throughout youth football, Matthews like graduating class had a ton of kids all the time, and it seemed like none of the other levels really had quite as many. When you have like less kids and stuff like that to choose from, you're normally, like I said, but that, I feel like that's kind of the way our town's always been. Like, we always wind up having not enough kids to really like pull from and stuff like that. And so that's why I think, just like I said, this specific varsity team is very, very small compared to, like, I feel like a lot of the years past. So yeah, guys, we went to the game today, guys. I don't know why though. We got home honestly at like 10:30, and I was exhausted, and I have had a horrible headache, like right behind my eye right here, and it's just been driving me bonkers, guys. And I'm like, should I take an ibuprofen or should I just go to bed? Because I'm not planning on staying up any later, so I might as well just like take a shower and go to bed. It's just driving me insane. So Matthew came home, like I said, he hung out with his friends at the football game and stuff like that, but it was fun to see a lot of the people, like I said, that we haven't seen in a while, and just to be a part of that whole atmosphere today, I feel like was really fun, and I really enjoyed it. But tomorrow we have got the NIU game to go to, which originally Matthew screwed up the whole thing, I think, kind of. We bought tickets too late, and we were supposed to get general admission tickets, which is where Matthew gets in for free, so he's supposed to sit on the general admission side. Tickets were only $15, but they were sold out by the time we tried to get them, which was actually kind of late too. It was like Wednesday or something like that, and they were all sold out. So my mom ended up buying 4 tickets just for the 4 of us, because Matthew gets in free, right? And so she paid for the non-general admission tickets and ended up paying like $130, I think, for these tickets for 4. And so Matthew doesn't get in though for free on that side, so he'd need a ticket. So my mom was like, well, then you guys just go, I'm not gonna go. And then it was just gonna be me, Matthew, Jack, and my dad that were gonna go. But now we just decided, I think, that my mom's gonna go, Matthew's gonna, so we're all going, all 5 of us are going all together, but Matthew's sitting on the other side from us. He's not going with us and sitting with us. He has to sit on the general admission side, and we paid for our tickets. You know, like the non-general admission tickets. We paid for our expensive tickets to sit over there, because all the other ones, like I said, they were sold out, so we couldn't sit there. So if we would have known, we would have gotten a 5th one, and then Matthew could sit with us, but he can't. So it's a headache. But my mom has now decided she's going to go because it's family weekend, so it's actually like all this other type of activities and, you know, stuff that's actually going on. And my mom's like, I didn't know about any of this. Matthew does not do a very good job with communicating and stuff like that, and so none of us knew any of this stuff was going on. So they're supposed to be doing like lunch, and we're supposed to be doing like all this stuff. Like, I don't know if it's tailgating or what we're necessarily doing, but there's a whole lot of stuff that's going on tomorrow. My mom wants to be a part of it, so she was like, well, I'm gonna go. And so we're gonna use all 4 tickets for the 4 of us, and Matthew's just gonna have to sit in his free student section by himself. I think he is gonna go with maybe his roommates, his girlfriend, I think her parents, maybe even his roommate's family. But it's so weird. So we'll be sitting like on the other side or the other section of the football field with just the 4 of us. No student is gonna be sitting with us. This is the 4 of us. Like, it's so awkward, and it's so just like messed up. I don't even know. It's just, yeah, Matthew's communication stinks though, because he didn't tell my mom specifically that she had to get the general admission tickets, if not get a 5th one. So when she ordered them, she ended up spending, like I said, $130 to get us tickets, but didn't get the one for Matthew because she thought that he'd still be fine if she didn't know which kind of tickets and where she was getting them. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting afternoon tomorrow, but I think the game is like at 2:30 or something like that, so I have not been waking up early. I right now have got a headache, and I need to get to bed and take a shower, so I'll see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give it a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and we'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow, so bye guys.